Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to the 1972 NFL season replay in Momentum Football. We've got a matchup in the AFC for you tonight, as the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight are making their first appearance on the board somehow in Week 13, as we're at the Astrodome for the Steelers to play the Houston Oilers. This is an AFC Central matchup. It's meaningless except for the Steelers needing to get a game on the board. And the reason I'm putting the Steelers on the board in a relatively meaningless game is because I had the Dolphins on the board earlier in the season, and I want to make sure that there's a fair tiebreaker between the Steelers and the Dolphins, since the first tiebreaker is wins on the board, and second is points on the board. So we'll take a look at our current league standings. In the AFC Central, we see that the Steelers have clinched the division, and they've also clinched a first-round bye in the AFC playoffs, as ID Jester is first to join us here at the Astrodome. Also in the Central Division, the Cincinnati Bengals are in the playoffs, and we won't be watching them tonight for any playoff implications. We see the Oilers are dead last in the AFC Central at 2-10, and dead last in the whole AFC from the looks of it. Looking to the rest of the conference, the Miami Dolphins, after a shocker against the Jets 2 weeks ago in the season, they're 11-1, tied with Pittsburgh, but they've got a board loss and 23 points on the board. So ideally, the Steelers pick up this win to render the head-to-head tiebreaker theirs to lose. In the AFC West, the Raiders are in the playoffs, but they're trying to clinch the division. They clinched tonight with a win and a Denver loss. We'll be watching the Broncos in the ticker as well, as they'll clinch the playoffs with a win and a Chiefs loss. Moving into the NFC, the Redskins have already wrapped up the number one seed in the NFC with a record of 11-1 in the East. Dallas and New York are behind them at 7-4-1, and we'll be watching both of them later tonight. In the NFC Central, the Packers and the Lions are currently at war for the NFC Central Division crown, and what will likely be the other first-round bye in the NFC. The Packers are currently a half game up on the Lions with a record of 9-3, and the Lions are 8-3-1. The Vikings at 7-5, surprisingly, are still in it. As for the NFC West, the Niners have clinched a playoff spot at 8-4, and they'll have a chance to clinch the division later tonight in the NFL ticker. Also, the Packers have a chance to clinch the number 2 seed in the NFC with a win, but they need help from both the Falcons and who are the Lions playing? The Lions are playing the Bills, so the Packers aren't likely to get help from the Bills based on the ticker. So what's going to happen tonight for the Steelers on the board? Let's get into this one, and we'll start off as usual with the coin toss. Blue will be for the Oilers, white for the Steelers, and red as usual is the decision. Odds, the winning team will defer. Evens, the winning team will receive the opening kickoff. The Oilers will win the coin toss, and they will receive. Neither team can return a kickoff or a punt for a touchdown, so we'll get that easy tonight. As the Oilers will get the ball first to start this game, and we will be underway here momentarily with the opening drive. We'll be taking 7 time off the clock for the Oilers right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A 7 is coming off the team with momentum. That's Houston. A 46 on their offense is going to be a key penalty, and that'll be a defensive holding on the Steelers. As Houston will get the momentum and have an opportunity to continue this drive with an offensive reading no matter what. Let's see what the Oilers are able to do with a second chance at life on this opening drive. After the Steelers take a miserable penalty, that'll be 3 more time coming off the clock. 1, 2, 3, but a 21 on offense is going to be an interception right off the bat, and the Steelers are going to get the ball on that one. Let's see. They can return an interception for a touchdown, 11-12. And a 24 and under on blue and yellow. Haven't had any problems with replayed baseball ever since that glitch. Good to know. That's a 16, so close but no cigar. 33 says that'll be Glenn Edwards making that pick. Steelers still with a lot to play for as they're trying to get the number 1 seed in the AFC. They've got a great opportunity to do this, but they've got to pick up this win on the board. They'll be ticking 7 time off the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dolphins fans tonight are Oilers fans. 4 is coming off of Pittsburgh's offense, actually. That's a 2 to 3. 65 is going to be a touchdown pass, and the Steelers are going to get on the board first. The Steelers will take the lead by a score of 6-0, pending the extra point. But first we need to see who makes the touchdown. 31 will be Frank Lewis making that catch, and that'll be for doubles. Roll for Lewis is times 4. Ooh, this could be a long one. Wow, 40-yard reception for the Steelers. And we'll see if Roy Gorella can add the extra point. He's an 11 to 65, so not quite automatic. But he'll be automatic enough there. The extra point will be up, and it'll be good. And the Steelers jump out to an early 7-0 lead. Stadium groans. Ugh. Dolphins fans are groaning along with them because the Steelers right now would hold the tiebreaker with a win, which means the road to the Super Bowl in the AFC would go through Pittsburgh. I'll take off time for the Oilers on the kickoff, and the Oilers will get their next drive. That'll be another 8 time coming off the clock for the Oilers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A 9 coming off the Steelers' defense with a 42, and the Oilers are going to have to punt that one away. There is a chance for the Oilers to have the punt blocked. Philip Anderson now joins us here at the Astrodome. Yes, we got a lot of good teams trying for the playoffs. I've been looking off and on at some football helmets, but I haven't found what I've liked so far. And the other problem is I like being able to use the logos of the teams as they were in that season. So I'll definitely keep the idea of the mini logos in mind. Of the mini helmets in mind, I should say. Steelers, actually we're rolling for the blocked punt, that's right. So Dan Pastorini coming out to try to punt this for the Oilers. 11 on red and white, which that's a 63, so no block, no return. Steelers with their second drive of the first quarter. I don't know if you guys were around for the intro, but admittedly this game is more about getting the Steelers a board game than it is about necessarily getting a good matchup, because I wanted a fair tiebreaker between the Steelers and the Dolphins on the board. So let's see what the Steelers do with their next drive. Taking another 6 time off the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is coming off of Pittsburgh's offense with a 44, and that will be a field goal attempt. Coming out for the Steelers, once again, will be Gorella. He's an 11 to 51. Let's see what he can do with this. That's a 34. That kick is up, and it is good. 12, 19, 36-yard kick for Gorella. And the Steelers now opening up a 10-0 lead here at the Astrodome. Stadium groans. Ugh. We'll tick off time for the kickoff for the Oilers. And let's see what the Oilers are able to do with this kick. Or with this drive. Taking another 8 time off the clock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not an 8 coming off of Houston's offense, but a 34. The Oilers are going to have to punt that one away again. And the Steelers once again get heat, but they can't get anything. But they can't get anything on Pastorini. He'll get that punt off. Pittsburgh now with the ball. Let's see what they're able to do with this drive. They're already leading 10-0. The Dolphins picked up 23 points, so if the Steelers can win and score at least 23 points, they'll render all of the board tiebreakers in their favor. That'll be taking 5 time off the clock, which will take us into the second quarter. 5 is coming off of their offense, but a 23 is going to be a quarterback sack. And the Steelers maybe looking past the Oilers a little bit, but probably not. That'll be a 12-yard loss, though. Bradshaw maybe not doing what he's supposed to be doing here. But the Oilers with their next drive, their first drive of the second quarter. Let's see what the Oilers are able to do with this one. Taking another 9 time off the clock, a grinding drive from the Oilers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 is coming off of Pittsburgh's defense with a 43, and the Oilers once again will have to punt that one away. The steel curtain in Pittsburgh definitely coming out to play, and my blue die went flying on me. Let's see if the Steelers can get some pressure on Pastorini this time. No. Oilers are going to pick everybody up on the block. And the Steelers will continue to control this game with a score of with the lead of 10-0. Steelers with their second drive of the second quarter. We'll take another 9 time off the clock. 9 is coming off of Pittsburgh's offense, and a 44 is going to be another field goal attempt. Gorella coming out again. He was good from 36 earlier. 11-51 for the Steelers. That's a 65. That kick is up, and it is no good. Gorella will miss that one terribly wide left. 36 and 17 is a 53-yard kick. And that goes sailing wide left. Steelers still hold a 10-0 lead, though. Oilers with their second drive of the second quarter. As they'll be taking another 7 time off the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Down to 6 minutes left in the quarter. 4 is coming off of Pittsburgh's defense. And a 16 is going to be another interception. Stadium groans. Ugh. Second interception the Oilers have thrown in this game. And that one is not going to go back for a touchdown, but Ralph Anderson will make that pick. Steelers with their third drive of the second quarter. All right, we're taking another 7 time off the clock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Down to 3:40 left to play in the quarter. 7 is coming off of Houston's defense. 54 is going to be another field goal attempt. Gorella again. He made from 36 and missed from 53. Oilers are trying to play spoiler for the Dolphins. Let's see what the Steelers can do here. That kick is up, and that will be good. 16, 33-yard kick. And the Steelers will open up a 13-0 lead against the Oilers. Astrodome, Probably doesn't even care that much. The Oilers are not doing anything this season. Let's see what Houston can do with their third drive of the second quarter. Well, maybe, I was going to say maybe something, but maybe not. Let's see, 6 time coming off the clock for the Oilers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 is coming off of Pittsburgh's defense with a 52. That's going to be just at the bottom of the range, but that will be enough to make the Oilers punt. The Oilers came close to getting a drive going, but the Pittsburgh defense holds, and the Oilers are forced to punt the ball away. And once again, the Steelers get pressure, but the Oilers are able to pick up the Steelers' pressure. Steelers with what I expect to be their last drive of the first half. That it's actually 6 times, so that will be exactsies in terms of being the last drive. 3, 4, 5, 6 of the first half. 8 is coming off of Pittsburgh's offense. 22 is going to be a quarterback sack, which is almost like a free play for the Steelers. That'll be an 8-yard loss. We'll see if the punt gets blocked for giggles. Bobby Walden coming out to punt for the Steelers. He's an 11 on red and white. Then it's automatic after that. But that's a 34. Punt gets off clean. And just like that, we are at halftime. And all of our scoring happened in the first quarter, but that's a lie. We are at halftime. And at halftime, the score is Pittsburgh 13, Houston nothing, and I will take my small break as usual. To be honest, I was expecting this to be a blowout, but the fact that Houston's hanging tough with Pittsburgh, I think probably says more about maybe the Steelers having a little bit of stage fright, potentially. Because a lot of good teams have gotten on the board this season, Jester, and there's been a lot of stage fright. Case in point, I take you no further than 2 weeks ago, I think it was at least 2 or 3 blocks ago, when the Dolphins were on the board, and we had by far the biggest upset of the 1972 replay. I'm sure Philip can fill you in on the shocker that was. Don't forget, though, we've got the NFL Ticker, brought to you by Ultra Quick Football by Downey Games. Tomorrow night, we were originally scheduled to be at RFK Stadium for the Buffalo Bills playing the Washington Redskins, for the same reason we're putting the Steelers on the board tonight. Because I thought the Redskins needed a tiebreaker game on the board. But it turns out the Redskins were able to wrap up the number 1 seed in the NFC without once making an appearance on the board. So I'm going to flex that game off the board for something more interesting, but I don't know what game that's going to be, so we'll make that decision. So you guys will help me make that decision once we get through the ticker for Week 13 tonight. So not sure what game it'll be, but we'll decide after the ticker, as now we're getting ready for the second half of this game. Pittsburgh gets their first drive of the third quarter. And yes, that was a shocker. And it's probably the biggest upset of this replay. Oh boy. 4 time coming off the clock for the Steelers. Short drive. 4 is coming off of Pittsburgh's offense. But an 11 is going to be a fumble. And the Steelers are going to put that one on the ground. Fortunately for them, the Oilers can't return a fumble for a touchdown. But on a 25, Elvin Bethea will fall on that one for the Oilers. And the Oilers trying to show a little bit of life here. Houston playing for pride. They don't want to get completely humiliated here, even though they're facing one of the juggernauts of the AFC. Let's see what the Oilers can do with this drive. We'll be taking another 8 time off the clock for the Oilers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 11 is coming off of Pittsburgh's defense, but a 62, that's going to be a field goal attempt, showing us just how stout the Steelers' defense is. So the Oilers are able to make some headway, but the defense ultimately holds and forces the Oilers to settle for a field goal attempt. We'll use red and white to determine the kicker, since there are 2 kickers for the Oilers, and blue and yellow for the result. An 11 is going to be Skip Butler making that try, and a 26 will be up, and it'll be good. And Houston gets on the board from 26 yards out. And the Oilers get on the board and cut the Pittsburgh lead down to 13-3. Once again, stadium doesn't react all that much. There's a lot of empty seats here, as the Oilers coming into this game, as I mentioned, were 2-10 on the season. So probably not a lot of fans down at the Astrodome in this one. Let's see what the Steelers can do here. Let's see, that's another 6 time coming off the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A 5 is coming off of Pittsburgh's offense, but a 34 is going to be a key penalty, and the Pittsburgh drive will stall on a holding call. And the Steelers will have to punt that one away. We'll see if the Steelers get the punt blocked. Not even slightly. Houston suddenly finds themselves down 10, but they've got the momentum right now, after a Pittsburgh drive stalls on a terrible holding call. Let's see what the Oilers can do with this drive. They'll take another 7 time off the clock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5 is coming off of Pittsburgh's defense with a 36. The Oilers are going to have to punt that one right back to the Steelers. We'll see if the punt gets blocked. And it does not. Steelers with their 3rd drive of the 3rd quarter. Steelers lead 13-3. Dolphins watching this somewhat nervous. We'll take 9 time off that one off the clock for the Steelers. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A 10 is coming off of Pittsburgh's offense with a 34. That's going to be a key penalty, and the Steelers are going to take another terrible penalty. This time it'll be an offensive pass interference, and they will have to punt the ball away. Wow, that was a close play. The Oilers got some serious pressure on Walden, but he ultimately gets the punt off. Astrodome groans. Ugh. Close play. The Oilers almost blocked that punt. Let's see what the Oilers do with this drive. They're taking off 9 time off the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 11 is coming off of Pittsburgh's defense with a 36, and the Oilers are going to have to punt that one away. Let's see if the punt gets blocked. It does not. This drive for the Steelers should take us into the 4th quarter, as long as it's any significant length. And that will be significant length. 8 time coming off the clock, as we will end up in the 4th quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 4th quarter of play. 9 is coming off of Pittsburgh's offense, but a 23 is going to be another quarterback sack. And the Oilers are showing us some teeth in this one, as that'll be an 8-yard loss. Bradshaw The Steelers seem to be off their game a little bit tonight. Let's see if the Oilers can block this punt. No block on that one. But everything right now is going the Oilers' way everywhere except on the scoreboard. First drive for the Oilers in the fourth quarter. That'll be 8 time coming off the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 is coming off of Pittsburgh's defense with a 24, and that's going to be the third Houston interception in this game. Astrodome, echo groans. Ugh. Let's see if the Steelers can return this one for a touchdown. No, but that will be Jack Ham making that pick. Pittsburgh with their second drive of the fourth quarter. Taking another 7 time off the clock. Three is coming off of Houston's defense with a 26, and the Steelers are going to have to punt that one away. We'll see if the punt gets blocked. Oilers come with pressure, but the Steelers are able to get that one away. Oilers definitely do not want to be completely embarrassed in this replay. Taking another 6 time off the clock. 4, 5, 6. 9 is coming off of Pittsburgh's defense with an 11, and the Oilers are going to put that one on the ground with a fumble. Let's see if the Steelers can recover this fumble. 11-12 on red and white, and the 12 takes a 55 and under on blue and yellow. No, a 22 is going to be just a plain fumble, and Ernie Holmes will fall on that one for the Steelers. Holmes, yep. Steelers would love to get some more points here. Although the win is enough on the tiebreaker with the Dolphins. That'll be 6 time coming off the clock for the Steelers. Going down to 3:40 remaining in the game. 3 coming off of Houston's defense. 52 is going to be another field goal attempt. Gorilla has been a bit spotty for the Steelers tonight. He was good from 36, missed from 53, good from 33. And I thought he had one more, but this is apparently the Steelers' first chance for points since quite a while, actually. It looks like since the last field goal they kicked back in the second quarter. That made it 13-0. Gorilla is an 11-51 on the field goal. That's a 65. Kick is up. It is no good. And the Oilers still have some life from the looks of it. Right, I don't think we marked that. Okay, so... Oh no, I think we did. Okay, 37 and 17 is a 54-yard kick. Gorilla no good from 54. Score remains 13-3. As the Steelers seem to be making more plays with their defense than they do on offense. Oilers coming out for what will probably be their last drive of the game. Ten time coming off the clock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is coming off of Pittsburgh's defense, but a 64. That's still going to be a touchdown run, and the Oilers are somehow going to have some signs of life. Stadium cheers. Yay! And the Oilers are going to make this one very interesting, as it is now 13-9, pending the extra point. That will be Paul Robinson running that in from 4 yards out. We'll roll the extra point the same way we rolled the field goal earlier for the Oilers. 14 is going to be Butler, and the extra point is up and good. And the Steelers suddenly find themselves in a bit of a dogfight here, looking very nervous, as it is now 13-10 in favor of the Steelers, and the Oilers... Sorry, Jester, you're probably going to yell at me for this one, but the Oilers have got to try the onside kick. The game, and another huge upset on the board, rides potentially on this roll of the dice. The Oilers are going to try an onside kick. I've already ticked off the time for it. Oilers get this kick, they're going to go for a Hail Mary. Steelers get it, we'll see victory formation, and the Steelers will breathe a huge sigh of relief that their stage fright didn't get the better of them. On an 11-16, the Oilers will recover the onside kick. Here comes the kicking team. Everybody's set. Everybody watching the ball. Here's the kick. And the Steelers are going to pick that one up, and the Steeler fans, along with the Steelers sideline, lets out a huge sigh of relief. Phew. Steelers recover. And we'll see victory formation here, I suspect, momentarily. The Oilers had to try it for a huge upset. That is 8 time, and that will be the final gun for the end of the game. Bang. And the Pittsburgh Steelers will survive a scare in Houston with a 13-10 victory as they get past the Oilers and advance to 12-1. 12-1 on the season. So I'm going to update standings here in real time as we're going through this, because as I mentioned, we are going to be flexing the Redskins on off the board, and I want to be able to make the decision with the most updated standings in real time. Speaking of the NFL ticker, we are not done yet because the NFL ticker is coming up next. It is now time for the NFL ticker, brought to you by Ultra Quick Football by Downey Games. The Pittsburgh Steelers escape a scare in the Astrodome, taking a 13-10 victory, suddenly giving us one more meaningful game in the ticker tonight. So we're going to do the stuff that doesn't mean anything first. Let's start off with the Browns and the Bengals. This isn't meaningful for either team. Cleveland rolls a 41. They have no change to their base score. Cincinnati rolls a 28. They're subtracting 2 points from their base score. And the Browns are going to take that one by a final score of 10-7. Let's see. Let's do the Bears and the Eagles next. Bears roll a 23. They're subtracting 3 points from their base score. Eagles roll a 42, no change to their base score, and the Bears will take that one by a final score of 14-3. Let's go to the Patriots and the Saints next. Patriots roll an 85. They're adding 10 points to their base score. Saints roll a 28. They're subtracting 2 points from theirs. And the Patriots will take that one by a final score of 25-18. Rams and the Cardinals. Rams roll a 91. They're adding 14 points to their base score. Cardinals roll a 70. They're adding 6 points to theirs. And the Rams are going to take that one by a final score of 29-17. And bear with me for a couple minutes while I update the ticker from what I've got so far. I wanted to update these between each game, but I kind of got in the flow a little bit here. So let's see. The Browns are 4-9. Bengals are 8-5. Bears are 4-9. The Eagles are 0-13. Patriots are 4-9. The Saints are 2-11. We've got some dud teams here. Rams are 5-8. The Cardinals are 1-11-1. Okay, now that we've got the games updated so far, let's see. Next game we're going to do, that one's important, that one's important, that one's very important. Okay, looks like everything else is important now. So let's go first to the Redskins and the Cowboys. The Cowboys are currently in a tie with the Giants for second place in the NFL, or in the NFC, tied for the 5 seed in the NFC playoff picture. Redskins don't have anything to play for. Cowboys are playing for their playoff lives. Can the Cowboys pick up some breathing room on the Giants? Let's find out. Redskins roll a 37, no change to their base score. Cowboys roll a 54. They add 2 points to their base score, but that won't be enough as the Redskins are going to take that game by a final score of 12-8. Coming back over to my laptop to update that. Actually, let me get the board record for the Steelers updated as well. 13 will give the Oilers their second board loss. And 37 points on the board for the Oilers. We just did the Redskins and the Cowboys. So the Redskins are 12-1. And the Cowboys are 7-5-1. Okay? Next game we're going to do here is the Lions and the Bills. The Lions are trying to keep pace with the Packers in the NFC Central. The Packers tonight are Bills fans. If the Lions losing is 1/3 of the equation for the Packers to wrap up the NFC Central and the 2 seed tonight. If the Lions lose and the Packers win the NFC Central. But do the Bills help the Packers? Let's find out. Lions, not with a roll like that. Lions roll a 95. They're adding 17 points to their base score. Bills roll a 4. They're subtracting 14 points from theirs. And the Lions are going to come into Buffalo and blow the Bills out by a final score of 41-0. Lions are already in the playoffs. Lions are 9-3-1. The Bills go to 3-10. Okay. Next game we're going to go to here is the Dolphins and the Giants. Giants, like the Cowboys, are also fighting for their playoff lives. Dolphins still have a bit of a chip on their shoulder from their huge loss on the board in Week 10. And the Dolphins need to win this game to keep pace with the Steelers for the number 1 seed in the AFC. Can the Dolphins keep pace with the Steelers, or will the Giants continue their playoff lives? Let's find out. Dolphins roll a 19. They're subtracting 6 points from their base score. Giants roll a 56. They're adding 2 points to theirs. And the Dolphins are going to escape a squeaker in New York with a final score of 8-6. And the Dolphins will keep pace with the Steelers for the number 1 seed in the AFC. The Dolphins go to 12-1. Giants go to 7-5-1. And that is a pair of huge losses here. We'll come back to that pair of huge losses. Next game we're going to go to Chargers and the Broncos. The Broncos need to win this game and then need Kansas City to lose to be able to clinch a playoff spot tonight. Chargers aren't playing for anything here. They're in last place in the AFC West. Can the Broncos do their part to clinch a playoff spot? Let's find out. Chargers roll a 57. They're adding 2 points to their base score. Broncos roll a 7. They're subtracting 10 from theirs. And the Chargers are once again going to play spoiler for the Broncos as they take that one by a final score of 21-9. So the Chargers go to 6-7. The Broncos go to 7-6. And we've got a lot of moving parts tonight in these playoffs. That is actually half the equation for the Raiders tonight, and we're going to come back to that as well. Next game we're going to do here is the Packers and the Vikings. With the losses by both Dallas and New York, Minnesota now finds itself with new life in the NFC playoff picture. Green Bay can guarantee with a win that the Central Division champion will be the number 2 seed in the NFC. Do the Packers guarantee the number 2 seed for the NFC Central, or do the Vikings continue their playoff lives? Let's find out. Packers roll a 91. They're adding 14 points to their base score. Vikings roll a 47. No change to their base score. And the Packers are going to take that one by a final score of 25-8. And that should ensure, especially with the Niners loss, that the NFC Central Division champions will be the number 2 seed in the NFC. Oop. That should be 7-6 for Minnesota, not 7-65. The next game we're going to go to is the Falcons and the 49ers. Niners clinch the NFC West with a win, but they will be the 3 seed because Green Bay actually holds the tiebreaker over San Francisco right now. So Frisco could wrap up the NFC West, but they would be the 3 seed, and that would give them the season series split with the Falcons. The Falcons could theoretically stay alive for the NFC West crown because they would end up with the season series win over the 49ers with a head-to-head tiebreaker. Do the Niners clinch the West, or do the Falcons stay alive? Let's find out. Falcons roll a 62. They're adding 3 points to their base score. Niners roll a 68. They're adding 6 points to theirs. And the San Francisco 49ers are your 1972 NFC West Division champions with a final score over the Falcons of 21-14. Niners go to 9-4. Falcons go to 6-7. And what color did I have for the division? I had green. Let's make sure we got the right green here. I think that's it. Okay. Next game we'll do here is we're going to do the Colts and the Chiefs. Looking at the current seedings in the AFC. The Colts should now be able to wrap up a playoff berth with a victory over the Chiefs here. The Chiefs are trying to theoretically stay alive in the playoff picture. But can the Colts clinch the playoffs, or do the Chiefs stay alive? Tabbing back into OBS, let's find out. Colts roll a 10. They subtract 8 points from their base score. Chiefs roll an 82. They add 8 points to their base score. And the Kansas City Chiefs will stay alive by a final score of 17-0. So Chiefs go to 7-6, and the Colts drop to 7-6 as well. And this should be our last game on the board tonight. Yep. Last game on the board, we have the Jets and the Raiders tonight. Meaningless game for the Jets, but with the Broncos' loss, the Raiders now have a chance to wrap up the AFC West. Actually, they might just be the AFC West champions right now. I think they are actually the AFC West division champions right now. 8-5. No, they're not quite the division champions yet. So the Raiders still need this win against the Jets. Do the Raiders clinch the AFC West? They had a lot of problems just getting into the playoffs. The AFC West division champion will be the 3 seed. Will the Raiders clinch the AFC West? Let's find out. Jets roll a 17. They're subtracting 6 points from their base score. Raiders roll a 50, no change to theirs. And the Oakland Raiders won't have nearly the trouble they did in clinching the AFC West, trying to get into the playoffs. The Raiders will take that one by a final score of 23-6. Raiders go to 9-4. Jets go to 5-8. All right, that is your NFL ticker for Week 13. If your team won tonight, congratulations. If they didn't, there's always tomorrow night. Now, tomorrow night, here's the question. Week 14, trying to look for a meaningful game. Let me sort my division standings so I've got everything in front of me. Okay, that division needs to get sorted. So bear with me for a second while I get all this sorted out. F, J, K. Central's fine, as is the West. Okay. I'll check the conference standings as well. Resort this as well. F, J, K. Okay, so we also know that in the NFC playoffs, San Francisco is locked into the 3 seed. So let's take a look at so now I've got all that sorted out, let's take a look at the Week 14 and see what our meaningful games are. Getting the standings up here. All right, first game we've got is the Dolphins and the Colts. That is meaningless for the Dolphins, but it could mean something for the Colts in their playoff picture. I think we established against the Broncos and the Chiefs. I had a note in my conference standings tab. Baltimore versus Kansas City. So now Kansas City holds the tiebreaker over Baltimore. What about I don't think Baltimore and Denver played. Let me just look for that. Baltimore, Week 3. Didn't play Denver in Week 3. Oh, at 4. No. No. Where's Baltimore in Week 6? Oh, here we go. Against the Jets, no. Baltimore, Miami, no in week 7. 8, no. 9, no. 10, no. 11, no. 12, no. And 13, no. So that could be potentially meaningful, but that takes a little bit of complicated math. Minnesota, San Francisco could be meaningful for Minnesota because they're essentially playing for their playoff lives. But if both Dallas and New York win, then Minnesota would be out. The game I'm leaning to, well, let's look at the rest of it. You guys may have some thoughts. Kansas City and Atlanta is probably more meaningful for Kansas City than for Atlanta, as there's still a potential. The Chiefs would be... The Chiefs are the 7 seed right now, but they're the 6 seed right now, I think. Yeah, they would be the... Actually, the Chiefs just picked up... I think the Chiefs had the season sweep on the Broncos. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs had the season sweep. So actually, the Chiefs would be the 5 seed, and the Broncos, I think, would be the 6 seed. So that could potentially be meaningful for the Chiefs. Bills and Redskins doesn't mean anything. That was the original game I had on the board. Browns and the Jets doesn't mean anything. Bengals and the Oilers doesn't mean anything. Eagles and the Cardinals could potentially be meaningful, if only for morbid curiosity, to see if the Eagles can finish a completely winless playthrough. Packers and the Saints. Packers would be playing for the number 2 seed in the NFC. It would be a matter for the Packers of, if they win, they're the number 2 seed in the NFC. So I'll mark that as a potentially interesting game. Like I said, I'll mark the Eagles and the Cardinals for morbid curiosity. We'll mark the Colts and the Dolphins, as the Colts are fighting for their playoff lives. And actually, on a related note, the Raiders are also locked into the 3 seed, since the Steelers and the Dolphins will both hold the byes in the conference. So Bears and the Raiders doesn't mean anything. Giants and the Cowboys, with both teams playing for their playoff lives, is very meaningful. And that, honestly, is the game I'm leaning to. At least one of those 2 teams will make the playoffs. The winner of that game should be guaranteed to be in, especially if it's the Cowboys. Actually, they both have the same record, so the winner would be in. I'd have to see how the... Actually, the winner of this game and the Vikings are in if the Vikings win. But the Vikings... We established Minnesota is playing San Francisco, so that's actually one that could have some interest. New England and Denver... maybe. I'll mark that one as well. Detroit and LA... Again, has potential with the Lions playing for seeding. I'll mark that one as a potential. Steelers and the Chargers doesn't mean anything. Steelers win, they're the number 1 seed in the AFC, so there's some interest in that regard. Jester's saying Giants and the Cowboys. Philip, do you have a difference of opinion? Or do you think Giants and the Cowboys is probably the direction we should go? I would say that's a unanimous decision. So tomorrow night, Week 14, the final week of the 1972 NFL season, will feature the New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys, with both teams fighting for their playoff lives. Winner of this one's in, and if Minnesota wins, they will be in. I'll have an update on the playoff picture when I have a chance to get to my desk and scrutinize the standings a little bit more closely. So Giants and the Cowboys tomorrow night. Wednesday will feature no football, as I'll be in my American Interceptor playing Defending America, intercepting the America Bombers by Compass Games. Thursday, the 1972 playoffs, we're going to jump right in. Saturday, Mystical Munchies will continue out of the official Catan cookbook with the entree, Harbor Master's Fish and Chips. And Sunday next week, we're going to be continuing with our RPG month as we play 5 Parsecs from Home. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications to get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.